In the network shown, the switch is moved from position 1 to 2 at t is equal to 0. Steady state conditions have been established in the position 1. Determine I of t for t greater than 0. That's the question. So what it says here is that the switch is in position 1 and it has achieved steady state in that position. So if I draw that position separately, if I am trying to draw that, then what will I see? I will see that there is a voltage source. I'm not going to draw the second position, I'm just going to draw the first position because my switch is there. So switch is in position 1 and there is a resistance, there is an inductor and it is connected like this. Now why did I not draw this one? Because it is not connected. For connecting into a system, it has to be a closed loop. So only this is the closed loop, the other loop is open. So this is how the circuit is looking like before t is equal to 0. Okay, so when I say that it is looking like this before t is equal to 0, we know that an inductor, if it remains like this connected to a DC voltage for a long time, it will get charged up. And what will happen after it gets charged up? We have already seen that once it charges up, the inductor becomes a short circuit. Okay, after it's charged, it becomes a short circuit, the inductor. So taking that into consideration, what I can draw here is I can say that okay, the inductor is not there now and instead of inductor there is a short circuit because the inductor is charged. And through this short circuit, whatever is the current that is flowing, that is the current at t is equal to 0 minus, just before the switch is made. Now you might be asking, how can you be sure that the inductor is fully charged? This one statement, that steady state conditions have been established in the position 1. It means that in position 1 it is in steady state condition. So what happens in steady state condition? If it's an inductor and it is connected to power supply, it will become short circuit. Okay, and if it is connected and if a capacitor is connected to a power supply, it will be charged to a voltage. So because it has been in steady state in position 1, I have replaced this by this particular diagram wherein I have said that I naught current is flowing through the inductor and now there is no inductor, there is only a resistor. So now can I find out what is the current, this current? I can easily find out because this current is the same current that is flowing here, isn't it? So I can directly say that I naught minus is going to be 10 volt divided by 1 ohms, that is going to be 10 amperes. So that is the current, that is the initial current. So I am, when I am trying to solve this, I am going to say 3 conditions, not 3 conditions, 2 conditions. The first is when at t is equal to 0 minus. Okay, at t is equal to 0 minus. So I told you that there is a steady state, then comes the switch, then we have the transient state. After being in transient for a long time, again it becomes a steady state. So right now we are talking about this time period just before the switch is made. Okay, and I have found out what is I naught. The next what I am going to do is I will try to find out at the time after that. So at t greater than 0. So what has happened at t greater than 0? The switch has been made. The switch is now at 2. So what is the condition? Now the condition looks like this, that I am having a resistor here, 1 ohm. I am having a switch, this is connected, there is another resistance here which is 1 ohm, and now I am having an inductor 1H, and through this 1H I am having an initial condition which is that I0 minus is 10 amps. Where did I find that out? I found out here. So this is the condition. So I have to do the transform. So this is time domain. So the transformed circuit will look like what? The resistance will not have any change. I will have 1 ohm. Similarly, here also I will have 1 ohm. And now the inductor now is going to be Ls. So Ls means here L is 1, so it will basically become S. So 1 into S, it will become S. So this is S, and then for this initial condition of I naught, I will have to draw a voltage source, and that voltage source will have a value of, from where I am taking that idea from. So if you remember, this is where I told. So if you are going to replace it with a voltage source, that voltage source is L into I naught. Okay, and what is the polarity? The polarity is such that it will always be in the same direction in which the voltage was applied to the inductor. So going by that, the voltage that was applied to the inductor was like this. So that's why the current was flowing like this. So it is going to be minus plus, and L is 1, L I naught. So this is going to be L is 1. So 10 is the current. So this is going to be 10 volt. Sorry. This is going to be 10 volt. And now what have they asked us to find? They have asked us to find in the network, determine I of t. What is I of t? I have forgotten to draw I of t. I of t is this current. So now they are asking find I of t for t greater than 0. So what is I of t? Now I have transformed it. So this is now my I of s. So how can I find out I? Apply KVL. Apply KVL, and I will get, so we all know how to apply KVL. So this current is going from here to here. So plus minus, this is also plus minus. So looking at the back of the element, it will be 1 into Is plus 1 into Is plus S into Is minus 10 is equal to 0, from which I can say 1 plus 1 is 2 minus S within bracket I of S minus 10. If I take the other side, I will get 10. Therefore I of S is going to be equal to 10 divided by 2 minus S. Is it 2 minus S? This is plus, so this is also plus. So this one also becomes S plus 2, sorry. So now that we have got I of S, I can say that taking Laplace inverse transform, or inverse Laplace transform, I will get I of t as, if I take the Laplace inverse of this, I can write this as 10 into 1 by S plus 2, where 10 as such will come, and this one will be e raised to power minus 2t for t greater than 0. 10 into e raised to power minus 2t for t greater than 0. So this is one of the problems that we use for transient analysis with initial conditions. So what we have had here is, we are having a switch at position 1. At that time it has achieved steady state. So in steady state, instead of the inductor, we will have a short circuit, and we will try to find out what is the current flowing through it. And with that, we will be finding out the current at the initial condition, and that is I naught minus. Now at t greater than 0, we will look at where the position of the switch is, which is at 2. Then we will transform that circuit, and Once we transform that circuit, we will try to find out whatever is the required quantity. Here the required quantity was I of s. So we do that, we find I of s, and then we take the Laplace inverse transform to get the value of I of t. So this is every time, this is what we will do. So remember this, that we will always find out for two cases. One is at the initial condition, that means at the initial time period t is equal to 0 minus what is the case, and then the second one is at t greater than 0 what is the case. Okay, so let's see another problem. Here instead of an inductor we are having a capacitor, and the question is, in the network shown the switch is moved from A to B at t is equal to 0. So you might be find V of t. V of t is basically the voltage across this one. Okay, the V of t is basically the voltage across 2 ohm. So this is what they have asked to find out. This V of t is what they have asked to find out. Okay, this is the question. Now the thing is, here we are missing one statement, that it has been in A, this is A and this is B, it has been in position A for a long duration of time, for a steady state. It has remained in position A and achieved steady state. That statement is totally missing. But it does not matter because it's well understood. Okay, so now as we have done previously for the case of inductor, here also we will try to have two situations. The first is at t is equal to 0 minus. So position is at A, sorry. So I will draw the circuit. Like this is the 6 volt battery. This is switch A, suppose. This is A. And then I am having the 4 ohm resistor. I am also having the 2 ohm resistor. But this 2 ohm resistor, there is no point in drawing because it's not going to be connected to the circuit. And now I have to draw the capacitor. But what about the capacitor? See, it has remained in this position for long. It means that this particular capacitor has got charged up. So what happens to this capacitor when it is charged up? When it is completely charged up, the capacitor basically acts as an open circuit. So it is acting like an open circuit. So if it is acting like an open circuit, then what is the condition? So if it is acting as an open circuit, I have to draw an open circuit here. So let me draw it. This is the open circuit. And what is the voltage that we are trying to find out? This is the voltage V of t that we are trying to find out. Now I am trying to find out at t is equal to 0 minus. So I will write V of 0. And this is 4 ohms and this is 2 ohms. Now you might be thinking why I wrote V0 here. Actually I should have not written it here. I am trying to find out what is the charge of the capacitor, isn't it? So there I will write. So let me use a different color. So this is going to be plus minus V of, plus minus, this is going to be plus minus V C of 0 minus. That is a capacitance voltage. And if you would look here, that is the same voltage that we are having V of t. So it's one and the same thing. Anyway, so what is the voltage up to which it is charged? So you can see this voltage is the same voltage that is across 2 ohms. And this is the 6 volt battery. So using voltage division. What is voltage division? Voltage division divides the voltage among two resistance. So here I am having 6 volt getting divided between 4 and 2 ohms. So what can I say? What is the voltage division? So VC of 0 minus is going to be 6 volt multiplied with the resistance across which we want to find the voltage divided by the total resistance, which is 4 plus 2 ohms, which is 6 and 6 cancel, so I will get 2 volt. So Vc of t, or the voltage up to which the capacitor is charged, is 2 volt. It will not go beyond that. It cannot charge beyond that. Why? Because the voltage divider itself is that 2 volt will only appear across the capacitor, and that is the voltage we are having. Okay, so we have found out the initial condition. So this part is over. Next, I have to go for, then the equation is for t is equal to, for t greater than 0. What happens? So we know what happens is that the switch has switched from position A to B, and now what we are having is this 4 ohm resistor, this capacitor, and then this resistor which is 2 ohms, and here another resistor which is again 2 ohms, and the capacitor is having 1 farad with a initial voltage to which it has been charged, which is Vc of 0 minus, which is 2 volt. Okay, and I am to find out what is the volt across this. What is V of t? From this we draw the transform circuit where 2 ohms is as such 2 ohms itself, no change. Similarly 4 ohms also is 4 ohms, as such no change. The capacitance is now going to have a capacitor value which is 1 by Cs. Here I am having 1F, so it becomes 1 by S. And then for the capacitor, if you would remember, for the capacitor we are having to replace it with a V0 is replaced by V0 by S, where V0 by S is basically a voltage source, and that voltage source has to be having a polarity which is opposite to the polarity of what we have applied. So here the polarity with which we had charged, is like this. 6 volt is plus here, and this is charged with this plus and this as minus. This is plus and this is minus. So with that we can say that this is going to be having a polarity which is this one plus and this is minus, and V0 by S, where V0 is 2 volt divided by S. So this is the circuit. The last is the 2 ohms, which again I will draw it here. 2 ohms. Now I have to find out the voltage across this, plus minus V of S. So that I am going to write here, that is V of S. Now there are many methods to solve this. See, V of S is across this 2 ohm resistors. That means this can be written as V of S, and I can use the nodal analysis to solve it. That is the most easiest method. So if I am going to write KCL at node, will give me, what is the KCL going to be? So we know KCL is voltage, so this is going to be grounded. So I will get V of S divided by 2 plus 4, which is 6. That is for the first branch. So let me draw the current. So all current are suppose moving out. So this is minus V of S divided by 6. Then the next one is minus V of S minus 2 by S. Why? Because it's a voltage source, divided by the impedance, which is 1 by S. The last one is minus of V of S. Why I did minus? Because it's outgoing current. So outgoing current is always minus. So minus of V of S minus 0 divided by 2. That is going to be equal to 0. From which all are minus, so I can take all of them the other side. Then I will get get them as positive, because all of them are minus, so I can make all of them as positive. So let me write like that and take V of S common. So If I take V of S common, then I will get 1 by 6, or let me write it as minus 1 by 6 minus of Vs. If I take out, I will get 1 by S, which it becomes minus of S. Why? Because 1 by S is equal to S. So going by that, I will get S, this one that I will do later, because that is not having V of S, minus 1 by 2 V of S. What is remaining is this plus. So plus 2 by S divided by 1 by S is equal to 0. If I take this minus commonly, I will get V of S minus I have taken out commonly. Now if I am going to do the cross multiplication, before that I have to take 1 by 6 and 1 by 2. What is 1 by 6 plus 1 by 2? Cross multiplying with 3. So this is 3 into 3. I will get denominator 6. So 1 by 6 plus 3 by 6. It's going to be 4 by 6, correct? Which I can write it even as 2 by 3. So it is 2 by 3 plus S. Where that minus has gone, that minus has gone outside. Okay, so this is multiplied with minus. Plus 2 by S by 1 by S is 2 is equal to 0. From which if I take it the other side, I will get V of S is going to be minus 2 divided by minus of S plus 2 by 3. Correct? That minus and minus will go, therefore I will get V of S is going to be equal to 2 divided by S plus 2 by 3. See, the same one I could have also done using a mesh analysis. That I will do later. Anyway, now I have got V of S, which is same as 2 into 1 by S plus 2 by 3. Therefore, with inverse Laplace transform, I will get V of t. If I take the inverse Laplace, I will get 2 into e raised to power minus 2 by 3 t for t greater than 0. That is going to be my answer. So I have shown one example of inductor, another example of capacitor. See, the same one, I can do it using KVL also. How? Let me show that. So I am going to redraw that circuit. That circuit was, I am having a 2 ohm resistor here, I am having a 4 ohm resistor here, there is a capacitor followed by a voltage source, the values of which were 1 by S and 2 by S, and then we had a final 2 ohm resistor across which we wanted to find out the voltage V of S. Now I can take the current here as I1 of S and I2 of S. I am writing in bracket S just because the equation I don't want to make it lengthy. Now if I am going to make this as plus minus, this as plus minus, this as plus minus because the direction of the current, then I can basically write KVL at loop 1. KVL at loop 1 is going to be from back of the element 2I1 plus 4I1 plus 1 by S I1 plus 2 by S is equal to 0, from which if I take I1 commonly, I will get 6 minus 1 by S, 6 minus 1 by S into I1 is equal to minus 2 by S. Here I missed out something when I wrote. I should have written here this one, 1 by S into I1 minus I2 plus 2 by S, and this is also plus, so here I will get I1, and for I2 I will get minus of 1 by s I2 is equal to minus 2 by s. So this is my equation number 1. And similarly, KVL at loop 2 will give me, so if I am going to draw this as plus, this as minus, this as plus, this as minus, and then going for front of the element, I will get 2 by s minus 1 by s into I2 minus I1, and then minus 2 times I2. Remember, V of s is going to be 2 times I2. So I need to find out I2. So this is equal to 0, from which I can write the components for I1 as 1 by s I1. Okay, 1 by s I1. And for 2, I can write, so let me take minus as common. If I take minus as common, then 1 by s plus 2 into I2 is equal to minus 2 by s. Correct? Let me have a look. 2 by s, this is minus minus. So if I take this the other side, it becomes 2 by s. So it is minus. So okay. So this is correct. This is equation number 2. Now see, I can solve this using the matrix method, but before that, see, in the denominator all s are there. So I can rewrite equation number 1. I can simplify it and rewrite equation number 1 as, if I cross multiply, then I will get 6s plus 1. S I am going to commonly write I1 minus 1 by s I2 is equal to minus 2 by s. See, s is common. So in this equation, if I take out all the 1 by s, it will all get cancelled off, and I will get this equation. And similarly, the second equation, if I take 1 by s, then if I take, s, then I will get I1 minus 1 plus 2s I2 is equal to minus 2. So this is my equation number 3, and this is my equation number 4. Now based on this, I can write a matrix. The matrix is 6s plus 1 into, not into, minus 1, and this is 1 and minus. So now if I am going to look, it will be minus 2 of s plus 1. Okay, minus of 2 of s plus 1, and then that multiplied with I1, I2 is equal to minus 2, minus 2. Okay, so if I am to find out delta is basically this matrix. It is going to be 6s plus 1 into minus of, so minus of 2s plus 1 minus of minus 1, which is plus 1, which comes out to be, if I take minus commonly, then 12s square plus 6s plus 2 is equal to 8s plus 1, the whole into minus plus 1, from which this minus and this will cancel off. I will get minus of, I will get, this is equal to minus of 12s square minus of 8s, and minus 1 and plus 1 will cancel off. So that is delta, and delta 2 is when you replace the second column with minus 2. So I will get, that is equal to 6s plus 1 into minus 2 into minus 2 minus of 1 into minus 2. Okay, so this one becomes 6, so minus 6s into 2 is 12, so this is minus of 12s minus 2 plus 2, which is minus 12. Therefore, I2 is going to be delta 2 divided by delta 2 is minus 12 divided by minus 12 s square minus 8s, where minus 12s, so minus 12s, where 1s can cancel off. I will get this one, and minus minus will all get cancelled off, so I will get 12 divided by 12s plus 8. What I have done, I have taken s common in the denominator and cancelled it with the numerator one. And now this one I can divide it with 12. I can divide the numerator and denominator both by 12. So 12s divided by 12 plus 8 by 12. Okay. So this I will get it as 1 divided by s plus 8 by 12. Both of them will go by 4. So this becomes 4 2s are, and this is 4 3s are 12. So this is what is I2, and what is Vs? Vs is 2 times I2. So therefore V of S is going to be equal to 2 times I2, that is 2 times 1 divided by S plus 2 by 3, which again if I take the inverse I will get the same answer. See, this was the same one I got when I did using nodal analysis, but I told that the nodal analysis is going to be simple. Why I said that it is going to be simple? Because see, how many nodes are there here? There is only one node. So with one equation you will get the answer of V of S. Whereas here, if you are going to take mesh, then in mesh you are having 2, and for those 2 you will have to write 2 equations, and thus the equation becomes long, but final answer is going to be the same. So therefore V of t, if you take the Laplace inverse transform, you will get 2 e raised to power minus 2 by 3 t for t greater than 0. So that's how we do this problem. So I have done 2 problems. One is for the case of a capacitor and another is for the case of an inductor. We will see more problems like this, and 1 or 2 problems like this are surely going to come in your examinations. So you have to be careful, because you have to take this time and all those things so that you get the correct answer. Okay, thank you.